After that, Harold began to grind the fruit guide pieces into powder and then use a syringe to mix water into the dumplings. But just halfway through the processing of more than 20 dumplings, Harold felt the cramps in his abdomen, and the pain made him clutch his stomach with a cry. Hariah hurriedly asked him, "What's wrong with you, son?" Harold said in pain, "My stomach hurts so much, Mom. It hurts so much it's like screwing my intestines together. Oh, it hurts me so much." After that, Harold felt a strange energy in his abdomen, like a trapped and mad mouse, fleeing to his lower part frantically. Before he got back to his senses, he instantly released a terrifying sound. The huge, luxurious living room was filled with an extremely disgusting stench. Old Mrs. Wilson was coughed a few times and cursed, "Harold, do you still have a conscience for putting such a stinky fart in front of your family?" Wendy also covered her mouth and nose with disgust and said angrily, "Brother, your fart is too stinky!" Harold said in pain at this moment, "I don't know what's going on. I just feel a pain in my stomach." At this point, Harold instantly felt a stronger energy, several times stronger than before, and sprinted crazily downwards room at an extremely fast speed. Immediately afterwards, he heard a puff, and a stronger stench instantly spread throughout the living room. Noah glanced under Harold's bow-tie t-shirts and found that brown-black sticky material had leaked out. He exclaimed, "Fucking Harold, why are you pulling your pants?" "Ah?" Everyone looked around. "It doesn't matter at this look." Sure enough, something disgusting oozes under Harold's A. Old Mrs. Wilson scolded angrily, "Bastard stuff, this sofa is imported from Italy." Harold was also frightened and blurted out, I don't know what's going on, but my stomach hurts so much. It hurts so badly. And then I want to fart. No, I know how." Wendy asked in surprise, "Brother, did you suck the crushed powder into your nose when you squeezed the laxative?" "No!" Harold's expression was extremely ugly. Old Mrs. Wilson was about to scold him. She suddenly covered her belly, oops, and blurted out, "What's the matter? My stomach hurts to death. Oops, oops, no way." While the Lady Wilson was talking, she stretched out her hand to cover her belly, but she fell to the ground because of a sudden convulsion. "Mom!" Seeing the Lady Wilson fall, Noah hurriedly got up to help her. As a result, she got up fiercely. He felt as if he had been stabbed several times in a row, painful and uncomfortable. Immediately afterwards, he also felt the surging feeling in his stomach, and then he felt a hot and humid feeling inside his pants. "Broken!" He pulled his pants too. What exactly is going on? Old Mrs. Wilson was lying on the ground at this time, rolling in pain, and muttered, Oh, it hurts to death, it's horrible." After speaking, the Lady Wilson wowed and vomited all the things she had eaten in her stomach. Immediately afterwards, she also felt that her abdomen was out of control and suddenly pulled her pants. Old Mrs. Wilson gushed out uncontrollably, crying to her father and mother, "Call the ambulance! Call the ambulance!" Wendy was about to take out her mobile phone, but her stomach pain was unbearable, and she collapsed on the sofa with a cry, unable to move. Although Hariah had the latest attack, she soon began to vomit and diarrhea. The whole living room is almost impossible to stay in. It smells worse than the dry toilet on the side of the road. Harold's bottom was filled with excrement. He wanted to struggle to change to a clean place to sit, but he couldn't use his strength anyway. He had no choice but to grieve his face and twist his uncomfortable eyebrows together. He asked, "Grandma, what did you add in the dumplings? It seems like it is not clean." Old Mrs. Wilson said weakly, "Impossible. The leeks are fresh, the meat is fresh, and the eggs are fresh. How could there be a problem?" Wendy's lips turned purple, and she trembled and said, "Grandma, I feel like a knife cut in my stomach now. I shouldn't die here." Noah gritted his teeth and said, "I'll call 1 to 20. You must hold on." At this time, the Wilson family had no idea what they were doing to vomit and having diarrhea so painful. Narcissus in daffodils is a very powerful and poisonous substance. If it is purified narcissus, then only a very small amount is needed, and it may be fatal. However, the content of this alkaloid in the daffodil itself is still relatively small, so eating too much will cause a very strong sign of food poisoning. But generally speaking, as long as you don't eat too much, it will not be threatening for life. Although it is unlikely to be fatal, the pain is definitely not something ordinary people can bear. It not only causes vomiting and diarrhea, but also fever, convulsions, and nervous system disorders. If it is eaten hard, it may also cause shock and then life-threatening. Everyone in the Wilson family ate a lot today, and it was indeed a bit dangerous. Even Charlie didn't expect that the Wilson family could eat so much. It is often reported in the news that some people mistake daffodils for leeks and were poisoned and hospitalized after eating them. This kind of thing is really easy to confuse. When Wonder 20 arrived, 3 of the 5 members of the Wilson family had passed out. Only Jacob and Wendy were barely conscious. But at this time, although they still have a weak consciousness, they can no longer control their bodies, so everyone's crotch is full of excrement.